Rising out of the lower Mississippi Valley in northeastern Louisiana is a massive, T-shaped earthen structure. It covers over 500,000 square feet at its base and towers 72 feet above the surrounding floodplain. To build it, workers moved nearly 250,000 cubic meters of soil. That is the equivalent of filling over 30,000 modern dump trucks, or carefully packing and carrying roughly 15.5 million individual basket loads of dirt. The site, known today as Poverty Point, was constructed roughly 3,500 years ago. An earthwork of this size and age challenges the established timelines of human development. Architectural projects on this scale are typically associated with civilizations that appeared much later in history. Typically, ancient monuments required two elements. First, an agricultural society capable of generating massive food surpluses to sustain a dedicated workforce, like the later Mississippian farming culture that built the flat-topped Cahokia mounds. Second, monumental architecture usually relies on a hierarchical ruling class or a king with the power to compel and organize that labor. Poverty Point is an outlier. The builders were egalitarian hunter-gatherers who foraged for fish, nuts, and game in the nearby swamps. They achieved this without draft animals, no wheeled carts, or even simple stone tools. A foraging society successfully executing a project of this magnitude forces archaeologists to rethink the organizational capabilities of pre-agricultural peoples. The builders selected a highly strategic location on the edge of the Macon Ridge, known as an ecotone. This placed the settlement safely above the floodwaters while maintaining direct access to the resources of the low-lying Mississippi River plain. Before construction began, the builders rapidly burned away the dense vegetation covering the marshy footprint of the largest earthwork, known as Mound A. Immediately after the fire, they covered the scorched ground with a layer of fine silt, creating a sterile, stable foundation over the original swamp. From there, workers brought specific soils, primarily loess and heavier clays, and organized them into alternating, interlocking layers. This specific combination prevented clay liquefaction. By alternating soil types, the structure absorbed and diverted heavy rainfall without turning to mud and collapsing. The builders engineered raw dirt into a highly calibrated material, displaying a technical mastery of their local environment and its unique geological properties. Microscopic analysis of soil cores from Mound A reveals 8 absence of weathering or rain erosion between the constructed layers. In an area prone to regular rainfall, this lack of erosion indicates the entire 72-foot structure was built in a single continuous sprint, lasting less than 90 days. This visualization shows the required volume scaling up rapidly from a single 50-pound basket. To meet their strict timeline, workers had to dig, transport, and deposit roughly 15.5 million of these loads. Executing this required a continuous bucket brigade system, involving approximately 3,000 laborers working simultaneously. Those workers needed to eat. Supporting the builders required 6,000 additional family members to hunt, forage, and manage logistics. Orchestrating a tightly coordinated group of 9,000 people contradicts the long-held assumption that ancient foragers lived exclusively in small, isolated bands. The engineering at Poverty Point extended beyond the massive mounds into the central flat plaza. Beneath the plaza surface, archaeologists discovered the post holes of at least 36 massive timber circles, with some rings measuring up to 62 meters across. These wood henges likely functioned as spatial memory maps, allowing an oral culture to physically encode and track astronomical cycles and seasonal data. The ingenuity of these builders is also visible in their daily survival tools. The Louisiana floodplain completely lacks natural stone, a critical resource which most ancient cultures relied on to boil water and cook food. To solve this problem, they invented Poverty Point objects, small blocks of local loess soil, molded into carefully chosen geometric shapes, and fired in hearths so they would retain heat inside earth ovens. The careful manipulation of earth used to raise a 72-foot monument was applied at the micro level to engineer the basic tools of daily life. Without a rule-in-chief to force the labor, and without agricultural wealth to protect, the primary motivation for building this massive complex remains a puzzle. Excavations across the site have revealed no elite burials, no palaces, and no signs of an upper class, making it highly unlikely that the mounds were built to glorify a single leader. Environmental records show that during the period Poverty Point was built, the Southeast experienced severe weather fluctuations and massive, devastating floods. Some archaeologists propose that the construction was a form of communal performance, a collective, spiritual effort by the community to restore balance to a volatile and unpredictable environment. In this view, the grueling labor was the primary objective, a shared ritual where the act of building served a greater social purpose than the finished mounds. The scope of their cooperation reached far beyond the site itself. Trade networks moved massive amounts of raw materials, including copper and soapstone, from sources over 1,000 miles away. Other renowned ancient sites, like the static trilithons of Stonehenge, required moving massive, localized stones into place over a long period. Later monuments, such as the Taj Mahal, were constructed under the strict command of an imperial hierarchy. But the earthworks at Poverty Point stand apart. They show that humanity's earliest monumental architecture was achieved through the elegant, cooperative engineering of a unified community.